Good morning. American Principles Project and American Principles in Action work to renew America's commitment to its founding principles. We have offices in Washington, D.C. and South Carolina, and in January 2010, Eric Goranson, who's in the back of the room, opened our Iowa office. Since then, he's been leading up our effort there, or here, working on social issues including religious freedom, parental rights, life, and educational choice. All those issues are tied to a larger reality, and that's this. Americans, particularly conservative Americans, hold their founding documents and principles as sacred.
All these issues are tied to larger reality. Americans, particularly conservative Americans, hold their founding documents and principles as sacred. And because of that, America is an exceptional place in which to live. And it is a great blessing to be an American. I do have one particular issue I'd like to highlight today. There is an enduring threat against our family. It is the belief that people should not be making decisions by themselves, but that government, bureaucrats, and elites should make those decisions for them. Over the last 20 years, that threat has been gaining momentum. That is until the 2010 elections, when the people began to reclaim their founding and to roll back big government takeovers. But the most dangerous big government takeover is just now rising into the consciousness of conservative activists. That's the big government, European-style takeover of education that is known as the Race to Top's Common Core Standards. That program was embedded in the 2009 stimulus bill, and is the greatest threat to liberty in that bill. And perhaps it's a threat as great or greater than the healthcare takeover. And I'll just give you a few highlights of that program. John? Now that the rhetoric's over, I want to give you a few highlights of that program. Implementation will cost the states billions of dollars. Just by way of comparison, Massachusetts put in new standards in 1993. Between 1993 and 2006, it spent $92 billion implementing those standards. Get your checkbooks out. The federal government strong-armed the states into signing on to the standards. That's nothing new. Neither Congress nor the state legislators approved the program. Approval was put in the hands by the Obama administration of bureaucrats and governors. The program was conceived and directed by the Bill Gates Foundation, which also between 2008 and 2010 provided $35 million to fund and develop the program. It moves the United States toward a European-style education system where government decides what trades or professions a particular student can pursue. It's the antithesis of traditional American education, in which students are educated to be citizen leaders, such as all of you in the room here today. The standards also have substantive weaknesses. It delays development of students' basic arithmetic skills until grade 5, 2 years behind their peers in high-achieving countries. It relies on an unproven approach to geometry, one that Russia tried and discarded 25 years ago. Many grade-to-grade English standards require no increase in intellectual demand. 70% of the English curriculum is not based on literature, but an informational text. And to quote my colleague Eric Goranson in the back of the room, that's a perfect vehicle for pushing bias and indoctrination into the schools now or in the future. And it's a drastic deviation from traditional American English curriculum. They're not done yet. They'll be introducing other subject matters, and they'll top it off with American history standards. The program will centralize education content decisions with special interest and centralized bureaucrats, in much the same way the standards themselves were developed. This will make it nearly impossible for parents to effect change when problems arise. Furthermore, governance of the standards will be outside the authority of the federal and state governments. The people will have no direct or indirect say in the matter. With the implementation of the Obama healthcare takeover, government steps in between the doctor-patient relationship. His education takeover puts government between the parent-child relationship. I submit to you that's at least as important. The issue then in America is who should control the shaping of the hearts and minds of our children. Should it be centralized government? Should it be elites in ivory towers or corporate boardrooms? Or should it be as the founders intended? Should it be with parents? No matter how you describe the main thing, I think that has to be part of the main thing, and that's the main thing I'm saying here today.